Hello there, very good morning. You're watching Proactive and Eric Strikeberg is joining us today from Buru Energy. A warm welcome to you, Eric.
Hi, Katie. Nice to be with you.
Nice to be with you. So last time you spoke to us here on Proactive, it was early March, and there has been a lot happening with Buru since then. Can you maybe just firstly bring us up to date?
Sure. Well, it's not only been Buru where things have been happening. Of course, in the wider oil and gas community, there's been some real changes. The oil and gas prices have obviously been very strong and look like continuing. And from our point of view, that really speaks to where the energy transition is going. And it's obvious that oil and gas is going to be around for quite a bit longer. And we obviously want to put ourselves in a position where we can take advantage of that.
Okay, and with your traditional oil and gas activity, I see you've made an ASX release on your Raphael project that appears to have some big numbers in it. Can you maybe tell us a bit more about the background on that one?
Yeah, look, we drilled the Raphael well as part of an exploration program last year and did a well test a couple of months later in March. And that gave us some pretty promising results. We appear to have made quite a substantial gas discovery. So what we thought was that we need to get an independent look at this so that people aren't just hearing the story from Buru. They've actually got someone independent having a look at it. So we've just been through that process, and a company called ERCE has finalised the independent report, and we just made an ASX release summarising those results.
Mm-hmm. And when it comes to that independent report, did it kind of meet your expectations, would you say?
Yes, it did. There's always a wide range of numbers this early in the process, but they've basically quantified what we're expecting on the discovered resources, and then the potential for just how big this thing could be. So we're pretty much aligned with the numbers that they've come up with.
Mm-hmm. So a big range of numbers for gas that we can see. Were you expecting that?
Yes, look, there's when you look at these things at this stage of a project life, you get what I call contingent resources. So at the 1C level of the contingent resources, it's basically the gas that you can see around the well. So you actually know the gas is there because you've seen it in the well. And then because we didn't see the end of the gas, it must be down there somewhere. And that's what the 3C number is. So you have to try and figure out what the gas column is. How far down does the gas go? And there's two ways to do that. You can look at the pressure data, and you can also look at the geophysical data, which tells you roughly how big the container is. Now, we've analysed both those things, as have ERCE, and come up with very similar numbers in the 600 to 700 metres of gas column. Now, that's pretty substantial, and that's given us a large 3C number. So, we're pretty sure we've got something pretty big here, but it does need some more appraisal work to quantify that.
Mm-hmm. And for those of us who aren't geologists, what do these numbers, what do they mean exactly?
Well, I'm a geologist by background, so I'm always fascinated by how the numbers are derived. The 1C number, which is basically the gas that we've seen in the well, is about 59 BCF. Now, to put that in perspective, that's enough to supply all the local demand in the Kimberley region, where Raphael is, for probably 10 years or so. So even though it's a relatively small market, just what we've found so far in the well is enough to supply that market with a much lower carbon footprint than the current system. On the high side, the 3C number is over a TCF, which is a trillion cubic feet of gas. And to put that in perspective, that's enough to basically provide us with a route out of the basin. There's not a lot of infrastructure where the well is, but because this is potentially quite big, it gives us an option to build a pipeline to export the gas, or to have a petrochemical project that will produce methanol or ammonia and urea. So it's a real project enabler for the basin.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of sort of further questions that arise from all of this, what do you have to do to kind of prove up the high side volume here?
Yeah, well, obviously we have to get from contingent resources to reserves. And to do that, we need a fairly well-defined process, which in our case will be, we'll retest the existing well to see what it'll really do. Then we'll do some 3D seismic data to make sure that we've got the right data to put the appraisal wells on, and then drill some appraisal wells. So that process will take us the best part of another year, basically. So in 2023, we'll drill some appraisal wells, which will really tell us what we've got in the structure.
All right. And secondly, a question that might come up is, how far advanced are you actually getting a commercialization pathway now?
Very good question. We've been working on this for a long time. We've been in the basin for a long time, and we actually have quite a large gas endowment already in the basin in tight gas. So we spent a lot of time and effort looking at how to commercialize that. And we just need to dust all that off, which we're currently doing. And we've also been engaging with customers under confidentiality agreements. And those discussions are really giving us a good feel that we'll be able to monetize the gas. We think we need about 500 BCF of gas, which is about half what our 3C numbers are, to give us a commercialization route out of the basin. So, we're pretty confident we're going to get there.
All right, all sounds good. And I gather you've had some good news on the energy transition front as well.
Indeed, we've been pretty busy on every part of the business, and we've just been offered a government grant to do some more work in our subsidiary called GeoVault, which is a carbon capture and storage subsidiary, and we'll be using that money to look at a CCS project in the Carnarvon Basin. Really, what GeoVault does is provides an enabler for us for our major projects to have a major project with a very low carbon footprint. So we were delighted with the endorsement of the government to give us some money that will allow us to advance that project. So that's been a great outcome.
Brilliant. So busy times ahead.
Indeed.
All right. Well, really nice to meet you. Thank you very much indeed. And we look forward to catching up on your further progress as you continue your journey. Thank you very much indeed. That's Eric there from Buru Energy.
Thank you, Katie.